Welcome back, everyone, to World Update. So, the base is now a proper perimeter. Since Caves and Cliffs came out, the feasibility of digging out the underground of my base area has basically gone to zero, because you can't instant mine deep slate. Thus, a World Eater was in order, and right now was actually the best possible time to do it, because everything I had built around my base up to this point was intended to be temporary, and the next thing I'm intending to build is very much not temporary, the sword system itself. So, rather than deal with snaking a World Eater around the sword system later, I figured running it now would be the best bet. In total, this perimeter is 449 by 453 in size. Was supposed to be 449 by 449, but I made a little screw up and made this wall an extra 4 blocks out farther than it should have been. In total, there is 665 budding amethyst blocks contained within this perimeter, and not all of these geodes are within random tick range of each other, so they won't all be producing amethysts at the same time. Ain't gonna break any records, but, you know, once I set up some farms and such to just run passively while I happen to be at the base, it'll definitely supply me with plenty of amethyst. I was also able to protect most of the monster spawners as well, so I have 50 mob spawners here in total. The monster spawners, they're not really useful for mob farming. I just wanted to keep them around for like aesthetic purposes, and I had some ideas for some non-mob farming uses that I'd like to do with them, so I thought it would be nice to keep them all around. But as you saw by the time lapse, it really did complicate running the World Eater, having to snake it through this many obstacles. So yeah, would not recommend keeping monster spawners ever again. Way too much work. Given all the obstacles within this perimeter, a short height World Eater was in order, and I decided to take the easy route and just go for one that I have used in the past. The same short height World Eater that I used for my Nether perimeter. I could have probably gone for something newer, but then I would have had to replace the sweepers and such to ones that are more suited for overworld use, since at least this short height World Eater, it was designed back before Ancient Debris was a thing, so it was actually, you know, able to be used in both dimensions. As for the design of the trenchers I used, I found that on the Slimestone Tech Archive Discord server, and they are awesome. Smooth wall trenchers and all, it's just like so easy to build, so easy in fact that multiple times while running the World Eater, I just built more trenchers to blast away areas that I couldn't run the World Eater through and such due to obstacles within the way. Would you believe me if I told you that I thought I could do this whole perimeter in the span of 2 weeks? Yeah, it actually took me 7 weeks. And counting the hours of all the replay files I accumulated from working on this perimeter, it's almost 200 hours. Oh, that makes me die inside. I did not intend a big hole in the ground to take this long. In fact, I intended for this episode to be perimeter plus swords system, but that is going to have to wait for the next episode, unfortunately. I definitely feel that I probably could have done some things different with this perimeter in order to make it go faster. I do know I mined a decent amount of deep slate by hand in areas where it would have been like really too awkward to get like TNT dupers running. In retrospect, I really should have not saved the monster spawners. It really did cost me way too much time. Alright, enough about the perimeter for now. I want to take a quick step back in time to version 1.19.2 and a version of my world from a little over a year ago to show you guys something. About 2 years ago, I became aware of a interesting world generation phenomenon through a video by TheMisterEpic, and I was intrigued. I wanted to search my entire Minecraft seed and find if there were any instances of this occurring. And I actually found one. Welcome to -5 million by -27.5 million within my Minecraft world. There is, in fact, a sinkhole. It is a small one. It's not very big. It's not very impressive compared to like some of the other ones and stuff showed in the TheMisterEpic video. But it exists. It is real. It is here. And before updating from version 1.19.2, which was the last version where this would actually generate, I set out on a mission through my Nether and so forth to get to this terrain and generate it, and before updating to the newer versions. But yeah, I find this to just be such a cool end of oddity of Minecraft terrain generation, and it is so awesome in that there is even a single instance of this within my Minecraft world, which, as far as I can tell, you know, there is only one instance within my Minecraft world. I wrangled the tool at the time to try and search my entire world seed, and unless I search something up, yeah, this is it. This is the only instance of this occurring within my entire world seed. And the crazier thing is that it's actually only 5 million overworld away from my Nether Highway Project, and it's in the same direction. So it's just like, as I build out that project, I could build off a branch to get back here more easily in the future. I say more easily, but you know, when traveling large distances like this, it's, you know, it's rarely ever easy. Or at least that was the case. Back here in present day, the future of the Blue Ice Highway Project seems quite uncertain. I don't think I'll be building this out any farther, and for one simple reason. As of 1.21.2, Ender Pearls now load the chunks they travel through. Do you see where I'm getting at with this? You can build pearl cannons in vanilla Minecraft that launch a pearl through unloaded chunks, and it will actually reach its destination. Going forward in the future, I should probably switch over to pearl cannons, as they will be the superior and faster mode of transport versus boat on blue ice for this project. Back in the overworld and at the spawn, I have, I guess, a lot of things to do here eventually, because in recent game updates, the size of the spawn chunks has been reduced. I think previously it was like 11 by 11, and now it's 3 by 3 chunks area of entity processing chunks. So this means my shulker mob switch no longer works by itself anymore. Now, for the time being, I have set up some portal chunk loaders going out from the current edge of spawn all the way over to here. So yeah, I do have the ability to use my mob switch currently, but yeah, at some point I'm probably gonna have to rebuild this thing again. Also, I want to call out a very important update that is happening to portal chunk loaders. In snapshot 25W02A, portal chunk loading tickets will now survive restarts, meaning you have like a portal chunk loader cycling items like this, and you go ahead and like save and quit from the game or shut down the server. When the server boots back up, those chunks around that portal will reload at boot of your world or server. I feel this is absolutely huge for technical play. This is a feature that I have wanted for a very, very long time. Now, if only Mojang can fix redstone breaking whenever it's unloaded and reloaded, I want it to be a reality. I hope that's the direction Mojang is going. Because nothing is more frustrating in this game than having well-defined game behaviors and redstone mechanics and having all of that thrown out the window as soon as it's unloaded. Making the time-lapse for this episode presented a really unique challenge that I hadn't encountered ever before. When I went to go ahead and start editing my replays, I immediately noticed something. Timeline performance was absolutely abysmal. I would select to fast forward 10 minutes within the timeline of a replay containing the World Eater running, and I'd be sitting on a loading screen for 10 minutes. By the way, even if I could like set all my keyframes and render out these replays, that poor performance would also translate to render time, so I needed to come up with a solution. Long story short, I had to diagnose into my replays and develop my own tool for removing the packets of data that were causing the performance to absolutely tank. It sounded quite daunting, but I actually really enjoyed the challenge of trying to diagnose my replays and figure out what was wrong with them and fixing them and so forth. And I wasn't really super in the dark about it because, well, at the end of the day, internally, ReplayMod, the way it functions is it just records server networking packets. So fortunately, there was already resources out there detailing Minecraft's networking protocol, so I literally just had to follow that in terms of being able to iterate through the data within a replay file. In the end, I did manage to fix my issue. That same scenario that took 10 minutes before now takes less than 10 seconds. And this leads me to a little bit of a question. Do you guys still use ReplayMod? Do you use ReplayMod? Have you switched to Flashback? I'm curious if you guys would ever see the benefit in a publicly available open source tool for editing replay files on a limited degree. Stuff like removing particle effects and, you know, removing entities and so forth. Stuff like, you know, maybe even like locking the time of day to a certain time and removing weather. The weather and time of day thing actually has already been possible in another set of tools called I'm Bob and Bob Light, but those tools have fallen out of date, so yeah, if you're on current version, you're kinda suck. Anyways, I hope you'll let me know if this is a tool that would actually genuinely be useful for you, because I'm considering putting in a time to make it a reality, but I'm still on the fence and I just don't know if it's really worthwhile or if at this point it doesn't even matter because, you know, maybe everyone's just switched to Flashback and no one's using ReplayMod anymore. I don't know if that's the case or not, so please do let me know. Looking forward here in 2025, there is a lot of content and stuff that I really want to get around to doing. I probably won't get around to all of it, but I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, I can manage to upload more than 1 or 2 videos for the entire year this time. I don't know. I always try to do more and then I just end up doing less, so no promises there. But what I can promise is that the next episode will be the one in which the storage system will be built. Yeah, sorry to cut it off here, but I ran out of time and couldn't cover the storage system in this episode. So, until next time, whenever that might be, hopefully it won't be too long from now, I'll catch you all later. Bye.